Highway 80, a 6-lane artery of asphalt. It slices through the desert, connecting Kuwait City in the south to the Iraqi city of Basra in the north. This is no ordinary road, it is a scar on the face of history. This highway became a graveyard of twisted metal and broken bodies. It earned a chilling name, the Highway of Death. The date was February 25th, 1991. Operation Desert Storm was nearing its end. Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein had ordered his troops to withdraw from Kuwait. Highway 80 became their escape route. Little did they know they were driving into a nightmare. This highway, once a symbol of Iraqi military might, was about to become a testament to the devastating power of modern warfare. The events that unfolded on that stretch of asphalt would forever be etched in the annals of history, a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict and the enduring controversies that surround the fog of war. The Iraqi convoy stretched for miles. Tanks, armored personnel carriers, trucks filled with soldiers, a desperate scramble for the border. They were retreating under the cover of darkness, hoping to escape the wrath of the American-led coalition forces. Unbeknownst to the fleeing Iraqis, they were being watched. High above, American warplanes circled, their sensors locked onto the moving targets below. The order came down. Destroy the convoy. The trap was sprung. The first bombs fell just after midnight on February 26th. The highway erupted in fire and chaos. The Iraqi convoy, caught completely off guard, was transformed into a sitting duck. Panic gripped the fleeing soldiers as they realized the full horror of their situation. The air assault was relentless. Wave after wave of American, British, Canadian and French aircraft pounded the trapped Iraqi forces. F-16s, A-10s, Jaguars, the skies thundered with the roar of jet engines. Bombs rained down, pulverizing vehicles and incinerating their occupants. The stench of burning flesh and cordite filled the air. The desert sand turned black with the soot of countless explosions. The highway was transformed into a scene from hell. For those trapped below, there was no escape. The attacks continued for hours, each blast adding to the carnage. Fuel trucks exploded in towering infernos. Ammunition dumps detonated with earth-shattering force. The highway was littered with the wreckage of hundreds of vehicles, many still smoldering long after the last bomb had fallen. The survivors who managed to escape their vehicles found themselves exposed in the open desert. With nowhere to hide, they were cut down by strafing runs from coalition aircraft or picked off by ground troops. The slaughter was merciless. One particular stretch of Highway 80 near the Mutla Ridge police station became a killing field of unimaginable proportions. The road was choked for 2 kilometers with destroyed vehicles, the air thick with the stench of death. This became known as the Mile of Death. As dawn broke on February 27th, the full scale of the carnage became horrifyingly clear. The highway was a graveyard of twisted metal and charred bodies. Thousands of Iraqi soldiers lay dead, their dreams of escape dashed on the asphalt. Section 5. The Grim Aftermath. The exact number of Iraqi casualties on the Highway of Death remains a subject of debate. Some estimates put the death toll in the hundreds, while others claim thousands perished. The Pentagon, reluctant to acknowledge the full extent of the slaughter, has never released an official casualty count. What is not disputed is the sheer scale of the destruction. Thousands of Iraqi vehicles, tanks, armored personnel carriers, trucks and civilian cars commandeered for the retreat lay in ruins along the highway. The road was impassable, a stark testament to the destructive power of the coalition forces. The aftermath of the attack presented a logistical nightmare. The stench of decomposition hung heavy in the air as the desert sun beat down on the wreckage. Coalition forces, overwhelmed by the sheer number of dead, were forced to bury many Iraqi soldiers in mass graves. Section 6. Whispers in the Rubble. Controversy and Questions. The Highway of Death quickly became a symbol of victory for the coalition forces, a testament to their overwhelming military superiority. However, as images of the carnage spread around the world, questions began to surface about the morality of the attack. Critics argued that the attack, which primarily targeted retreating soldiers, constituted a war crime. They pointed out that many of the Iraqis killed on the highway were conscripts forced into fighting a war they wanted no part in. Others questioned whether the attack was militarily necessary. With the Iraqi army already in retreat, was the relentless bombardment of fleeing soldiers justified? Or was it, as some alleged, an act of vengeance, a way for the coalition forces to exact retribution for Iraqi atrocities committed during the occupation of Kuwait? Section 7. Through the eyes of witnesses. The horrors of the Highway of Death were witnessed firsthand by journalists and photographers embedded with the coalition forces. Their accounts painted a grim picture of the carnage. It was apocalyptic, wrote one reporter. The road was littered with burning vehicles and the bodies of Iraqi soldiers. The smell of death was overwhelming. I saw things that day that I will never forget, said another journalist, the look of terror on the faces of the dead, the charred remains of human beings still strapped into their vehicles. It was truly a scene from hell. Even some of the soldiers who participated in the attack were haunted by what they had witnessed. "We were just following orders," said one American soldier, "but I can't help but think that some of those Iraqis didn't have to die." Section 8. A Scar on History. The Highway of Death remains a controversial episode in the history of the Gulf War. While some defend the attack as a legitimate military target, others condemn it as a war crime, an example of the indiscriminate use of force against a defeated enemy. The debate over the Highway of Death raises uncomfortable questions about the nature of modern warfare. In an age of precision-guided munitions and overwhelming firepower, is it possible to wage war without inflicting heavy civilian casualties? And what happens when the line between military necessity and wanton destruction becomes blurred? The Highway of Death stands as a grim reminder of the human cost of war. It is a place where the horrors of conflict are etched into the landscape, a testament to the enduring power of violence to shape human history. Section 9. The Highway of Death in Memory and Culture. The Highway of Death has become a potent symbol of the Gulf War, invoked by both sides of the conflict to justify their actions. For some, it is a symbol of Iraqi aggression and the brutality of Saddam Hussein's regime. For others, it is a reminder of the devastating consequences of American military intervention in the Middle East. The Highway of Death has also seeped into popular culture, appearing in films, books, and video games. These depictions often struggle to grapple with the complexities of the event, sometimes glorifying the violence or reducing it to a simplistic morality tale. Yet, even as the Gulf War fades from living memory, the Highway of Death continues to haunt us. It serves as a stark reminder of the enduring legacy of conflict and the human cost of war. The twisted wreckage that once littered the highway may be gone, but the scars of that day run deep, a testament to the enduring power of violence to shape our world.